Hey guys, Ryan Swag here. So, just got out of community today, had a pretty good time. Did you guys catch some shinies? I got 4 shinies, spent 3 hours walking around in circles with my friend Matthew. Matthew caught all the Dratinis I caught, same ones, same time walking around, and he got 8 shinies. But hey, it was a great event, got a bunch of shinies, had a good time. Hope you guys had a good time too, and if you missed out on it, all you really missed out on was the increased shinies. That's it. And at the end of the day, shinies are only so much value that you put into them. It's just a different color. Doesn't make the Pokemon better. So don't sweat too much about that. But yeah, links in the description if you've missed my Draco Meteor content. If you want to know some informed decisions like, oh, should I keep Draco Meteor on my Dragonite kind of thing. It covers the full meat and potatoes details on that. Also, if you want a nice little short article on Dragonite, Outrage, Salamence, Rayquaza, all that stuff, Don151 from the Game Press team whipped up this nice, short, concise article just going over the basics of Draco Meteor versus Outrage, the value of Salamence and Dragonite, and Rayquaza versus Dragonite. Just kind of a nice little TLDR and a little look ahead at Latios. So if you're curious about that, I'd say this article is worth checking out. Very brief and very to the point. Now the main reason why I brought you guys here was to give you some details about the Kyogre Groudon Legendary Week event. not the greatest event by Niantic, kind of salty about it myself, because what this event does, if you haven't noticed, is it populates our nice tier 5 eggs with Kyogre and Groudon again. So if you're looking forward to just having it easy and beating down a whole bunch of Rayquazas with your ice types, guess what? 2/3 of the eggs are not that. Thanks, Niantic. Now, there's some coolness to this event because it is thematic to the Pokemon lore where it's like, oh, these two, like to fight each other, and then Rayquaza kind of has to come down and break them up and fight them too. So, it's nice and thematic with the Pokemon lore, but I think just kind of taking over the eggs like that for however long it is, till March 5th here, I can read. It's going to be a little bit slow going, trying to fight and capture more Rayquazas, since these guys might be getting in your way. Now, there is a kind of cool side to this, where apparently over this event period, whichever one gets defeated the most will influence the eggs that we get from March 5th to March 16th. So if Rayquaza is defeated the most, then windy eggs are more prevalent for Kyogre, rainy eggs, Groudon, sunny eggs. So what that means is that your eggs will have more like psychic and flying and dragon type Pokemon if Rayquaza is the one that's defeated the most, and so on for these two guys. Game Press has a nice little guide for this as well, also linked in the description. It talks about what these eggs are. So it looks like the windy ones have the most to have, and it also has some super rare boys such as Aerodactyl, Beldum, Bagon, Chimecho, Ralts, Dratini. Dratini, rare. Well, the event's over now, so yeah, it's rare. The sunny eggs for 10Ks, all we're really seeing here is Trapinch and Larvitar. So Trapinch kind of rare, but not as useful as most of the windy ones. And Larvitar eggs, well, we got Tyranitar Raids, man. And then for rainy, ain't nobody caring about Lapras anymore. Feebas is neat if you don't have one. Very rare boy. Mareep, also pretty rare. I know a lot of people that still don't have an Ampharos, but all things considered, I think we want the windy eggs, and I think it's going to be unreasonable to try to motivate people to fight the Kyogres. Overall, I think this event is kind of ham-handed by Niantic, since we already know what the result's going to be, like intrinsically. Rayquaza is the new raid boss. We are sick of Kyogre already, and Kyogre has already plagued some of the Rayquaza raids in the beginning of Rayquaza's time. And Groudon, I mean, it's easier to beat than Kyogre, but not that hype. I think people are going to be focusing on the Rayquaza egg bonuses or not. So whatever, Niantic, we just want to fight Rayquaza, so thanks for making that harder. Now, if you're wondering on how to defeat the trio, not much has changed from my previous counter guides. I got the videos linked below if you want to know the information. How Groudon's counters have changed. Wherever you see Dragonite as being a good pick, just imagine Salamence and Rayquaza are also good. Wherever you see Vaporeon and Gyarados as good picks, Kyogre is likely going to be better, so keep in mind for that. For the Kyogre fight, all that's really changed there is that, once again, wherever you see Dragonite swaggin', you also have Rayquaza and Salamence swaggin'. And the Rayquaza raid hasn't changed at all from my original info, so links to those video guides below, and I also have a link to a nice, concise kind of gallery. So yeah, you can see the counter graphs right here. This is what I got going on. So Rayquaza, unchanged. Go down to Groudon. Just pretend that Salamence and Rayquaza are hanging out with Dragonite here, and that Kyogre's hanging out with Gyarados and Vaporeon down here. Scrolling down to Kyogre, yeah, once again, Rayquaza and Salamence, similar performance to Dragonite, and then I also got the non-legendary version for Kyogre, since this Kyogre graphic has so many legendaries. And if you want the full meat and potatoes that you're used to from the Swagman himself, the video guides are linked below, and the video guides also have links to albums that have way more detailed graphics and graphs and stuff showing you where stuff is good, why is it good, all that kind of nonsense. So the main reason why I brought you guys here today though is because on Twitter, O'Reilly, we got the dad runner, asked me which one of the weather trio would be worth chasing. And going through further discussion with them, they're asking like which one's more with the Stardust Rare Candy investment, which one they want the strong one of. So that in mind, I figured I'd give you guys a nice informed kind of opinion on, of these 3 Pokemon of the Weather Trio, which one's most worth your Stardust investment. Now, I want to preface this by letting you know that the best investment in your Stardust is to not spend it at all, because the meta can change at any moment. They could add a new battle type, they could rebalance CP, they could rebalance movesets, they could release Pokemon with new crazy movesets that make your other Pokemon look stupid. So if you don't need these Pokemon immediately for anything to help you like achieve a solo or clear a raid a little bit better, then it's probably better for you to just save your resources and stock up. But if you're looking to spend, then these are my picks. Pick number 1 is Groudon. Now I think a lot of people are like, Ryan Swag, hold up, Groudon? Why am I repping Groudon over Kyogre and Rayquaza? That sounds like madness. Not if you actually think about the meta, what's going on currently, and what the near future looks like. Then you might be seeing things my way. Right now, we've got the Groudon, Kyogre, and Rayquaza Raids. For Groudon and Kyogre, Groudon's actually a really great counter to both of them with its Solar Beam set. For Rayquaza, not so helpful, but you're already womping it with your Ice types anyways, so what do you need there, right? So very helpful immediately to power up a Groudon. Now, looking at the near future, the Gen 3 expected legendary raid rotation, we've got the 2 Laddie twins, Dragon Psychic types, we got the Regitrio, a Rock type, a Steel type, and an Ice type, and we've got Deoxys, which is kind of like a different flavor of Mewtwo. So looking at those raids, you might be thinking, well, okay, so Rayquaza's good against the Dragon types, and, you know, Kyogre's just going to destroy that Rock type. Well, Groudon's swagging a little bit harder. Groudon can not only wreck that Rock type, but it's great against the Steel type too. So it's a little bit more versatile in that regard. Additionally, in the current Game Master, Regirock looks like it's going to have an electric type charge move, the Zap Cannon. So you might be able to dodge it with your Kyogre, but Groudon literally does not care about it and just keeps pounding on it. So the one raid Kyogre kind of has like a cool niche advantage in. Groudon's arguably a bit better, and then also kind of weird, kind of niche, not an A or B list kind of counter to them, but against the Latios and Latios raids, because they're Dragon Psychic and not Dragon Flying, Groudon is actually pretty good with them, with his Dragon Tail and Earthquake set, which is kind of surprising. But looking at the Pokebattler sims, you can check them out yourself. Pokebattler is linked below. Dragon Tail, Earthquake, Groudon is a really very okay counter to both of them. So if you're looking for versatility, something that can do a lot of things in the current and immediate expected kind of future, I'd say Groudon is where your investment is. My number 2 pick is Kyogre. The main reason why it's Kyogre is because Kyogre is definitively the best water type ever. It's going to be the best water type for a good long while. I don't really look at things too far past Gen 4 because so much about this game can change on a dime, as we've seen throughout our history of Pokemon Go. But yeah, water types, it's doing it good. And being a water type is very good. Very powerful neutral DPS, good resistances. Kyogre's got great bulk. It's a very powerful Pokemon. And whatever Gyarados and Vaporeon are doing, Kyogre's doing way better. Now, little note, Gyarados does have a little niche with its flying type, being able to have that immunity to resistance to ground attacks. But DPS-wise, Kyogre is swagging to infinity. As far as its immediate and future uses though, not really there. And as far as like some niches or some versatility with Kyogre, not very versatile. I mean, it can run Thunder to counter other water types or flying types. It can use Blizzard to try to fight dragons or grass types. but not really that good. When you've got Groudon's versatility with the Solar Beam versus the Earthquake, allowing it to have different coverages, that's like a defined thing that Groudon does really well. When it comes to Kyogre's niches, it's way more niche. It's sort of like, yeah, if the weather's right, I guess, whatever, man. So I'd say Groudon, much better investment than Kyogre. Kyogre is still a phenomenal Pokemon, though. Now that brings us to number 3. The one that you might disagree with the most, but just hear me out here. I think out of these 3 Pokemon, if you had to pick 1 or 2 to power up, I'd say Rayquaza is probably your least good investment. And the main reason why is because even though Rayquaza is debatably, but for the most part, the greatest Dragon-type Pokemon, it's not so great where you're missing out if you don't have it, kind of thing. Dragonite is very close to it in performance, and Dragonite and Rayquaza actually kind of have DPS TDO trade-offs that are pretty close, but in some fights, Dragonite actually looks better than Rayquaza. So, right? Yeah, and we just got done with the Dragonite event, and you can wild catch Dratinis and all that kind of stuff, so there's that to consider. There's also Salamence that you can wild catch it and its preforms. Actually, I don't know if anybody's caught a wild Salamence yet, but still, wild catch the Bagons, evolve the Bagons, save yourself some Stardust, where Rayquaza will be this big Stardust sink for like, it's there, it is an advantage, but not that great of an advantage. Where Groudon is just doing crazy better than all their ground types, threatens grass types even for their positions, and is useful as an optimal counter in these upcoming and current raids. There's a lot of Pokemon in the game that try to do what Groudon does, but just can't. Then we got Kyogre. Kyogre is definitively the best water type. It totally smokes Vaporeon in every way. Vaporeon ain't got nothing on Kyogre other than the fact that you can wild catch a high IV, high CP Eevee. And even then, I don't remember the level, but I think it's like a level 30 Kyogre just using Waterfall, not using Hydro Pump at all, still does better than a level 40 Vaporeon throwing everything it's got trying to do some high DPS. So keeping that in mind. And then you got Rayquaza at the end of this line, best Dragon type DPS, arguably the best Dragon type, but it's not that far ahead of Salamence and Dragonite. So if you're looking to invest your Stardust in something, or invest your Air Candies in something, I'd say out of these 3, Rayquaza isn't necessarily it. I just want to make it clear that Rayquaza is still a very powerful, very good Pokemon, might not be worth your dust. If you want more details on each of these Pokemon and how to counter them, once again, links below. One thing that's kind of going on right now in the Pokemon world doesn't directly apply to all my viewers, maybe some of them. If you're a Japanese Pogo and you're watching the Swagman, let me know below. That'd be kind of interesting. But from February 26th to March 11th, there's a special event Nidoking going on at Pokecenters in Japan. All that we know about Giovanni's Nidoking right now is that it's a stronger Nidoking than other raid battles. And other promotions for this event have heralded that this event Nidoking is stronger than any other raid boss before. Maybe it's sort of like an overhyped mistranslation of it just being stronger than other Nidokings, but that's pretty exciting. And I'm actually really excited to see what makes this Nidoking different from other Nidokings. Our previous Nidoking raid battles have been against a tier 4. Maybe this special Nidoking will just be a tier 5. Maybe it'll have some spot buffed stats, making it extra special. Maybe it'll have like a cool move pool. And it also raises some other questions, like if we catch this Nidoking, is it going to be stronger or unique to other Nidokings that currently exist in Pokemon Go? I don't really know. It's in Japan. Oh, and another added thing about this particular Nidoking is if you defeat it at the Pokecenter and you prove it to the Pokecenter staff, apparently, right, hear me out, this is going to be the wildest thing you ever heard, better than any other Pokemon Go event to date. If you defeat this Nidoking and you prove it to the people at the Pokecenter that you beat the Nidoking, you can get a special sticker. So I'm really excited to see what happens with that. I'm going to do some countering content on that as well, just because, I don't know, this looks so fun to me. So yeah, soon on SwagTips. Find out how to beat this Nidoking you'll probably never see, because it's Japan only. But hey, maybe this special event Nidoking with special event one of a kind stickers, right, might set a precedent for Pokemon Go globally. Maybe we'll get special event raid bosses at special locations based on the main series games too. I would really love to see that. I think that'd be pretty hype, which is the main reason why I'm really hyped about this event. I kind of want to fly out to Japan just to fight it, but a little bit unreasonable. I'm on the fence, maybe do a GoFundMe, but also I think it's kind of rude, kind of shady to ask your viewers for money to help you do things. I really want to fight this Nidoking, the strongest Nidoking that has ever been a Nidoking, and get that special sticker. You know, it's all about that sticker right now. Will I go? Can I go? Probably not. So yeah, the Weather Trio event we got going on right now. How to help dominate these Pokemon, which ones are better. Pretty helpful. And then also, Event Nidoking coming up. If you like this content, you want to see more like it, comment below, let me know what's up, give it a like. And if you haven't subscribed to me already, then you better hit that subscribe button because, like, why wouldn't you? Come on, man. Don't you love me? SwagTips. And is useful as an optimal counter in optimal